Good evening and welcome to a Thursday night edition of Buddy Martin Show, formerly known as Orange and Blue Bloods. Maybe we'll bring it back one day. You never know. I am Buddy Martin. The program is heard 3 and 4 nights a week. I must say, in the past 2 weeks, we've had thousands of new people watching the program. Uh, Thanks to our master producer, Brendan Martin, we've had probably 100,000 new people over the past 10 days or 2 weeks. We hope you have a chance to tune in more often. We love it when you check us out, even though you may not be from here or maybe not even a Gator fan. But it's definitely connecting, and we're grateful for that. This is what we do. And tonight's Thursday, as I said, we got tonight on the program checking back in from a busy SEC media days. Rob Browne, who was just everywhere, doing everything all week long, and does his own show, SEC Sidelines, in the morning. He and Brendan Martin. He reported in with us. We did a show together last night. Some great sound bites from people, all kinds of folks at SEC Media Days. Now, we get it. Some of you are not thrilled about SEC Media Days, and I'm sorry, but it's the time they showcase the product. We're going to do our best to make sure we bring you what's there and not become obsessed with it. But we will report in on it and let you know what's going on. We got people tonight. In addition to Rob, we'll have the regulars, Ben Troupe. 84 Reasons. We're checking in. He's always got something to preach. I'm sure they're preaching something tonight. And I think he's probably pretty proud of what he saw in SEC Media Days, as were most Gators I talked to. Ben Troupe, then Franz Beard, the Iron Duke. He just keeps on trudging along. He'll be in with checking. He's been working on a book right now. Get a basketball book called Gator Boys something. I don't stay hot, whatever it may be. We're going to have it for you here soon and give you a chance to get maybe a free copy. You never know. Then it's Coach Loren Meadows, who has his own show Tuesday nights now. The Lowdown with Loren Meadows. So we got it covered for you if you like college sports and you like Gator football. Well, we're the ones. Come talk to us. We love it when you check in and type in a comment on our comments, and we'll address it. You always have a way to get a hold of us. We'll be here most nights right here on this program. We hope you'll join us. We enjoy doing this, and we're back in a moment with Rob Browne coming your way.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening. Welcome to the program. If you had a chance to watch this week, I must have watched, I don't know, probably 40 hours of SEC Media Days. Every little morsel I could get. I enjoyed it very much. There were times it dragged like anything else that goes on 5 and 6 hours a day. Rob did a great job of covering for us. I took a step back today and wrote a piece on something. I'd like to kind of think of myself as a student of the game. And sometimes you're going to push back and push away and come back. And I did an analysis on the two next superstars in the SEC. And I will say this, I don't brag on myself, but I must say, I think over the years I've proved to have a pretty good eye for talent. And I've been able to identify some of the great players ahead of time. And I don't brag on myself, but I did say this year, before they set foot on the field as a player, after watching video, after talking to people or researching it, that Jaden Baugh the running back, was going to be an absolute stud. And some of my friends said, man, what are you talking about? Well, he's big, he's fast, he can run. I don't see it. Well, I saw something, whatever reason, in Jaden Baugh. Was I right? I think I was right. And he is going to be a featured back in a very strong running back room. In fact, there are 2 or 3 rooms I'll talk about tonight. Although I hate talking about inanimate objects, that's how they identify them. And we'll talk about that with Rob and others and why they're strong. Billy Napier looks like he swallowed the bird, the canary, as you say, when you talk to him about certain positions, because he knows he's got something, and he knows that the other guys don't know he's got something. And so you're going to see some stuff out of there this year. Anyway, the article I wrote is kind of about evaluating players, how to evaluate them, and what I call now my B rankings. So why? Because there's something called the Q ratings in television, which rates the personality of people on TV and the products. For instance, some of the all-time highest people are Michael Jordan's, Tiger Woods, etc., on TV, as well as announcers. Anyway, to see that Steve Colbert got fired tonight, by the way, CBS letting him go. Anyway, just another subject. So my premise is I can help identify some of these people. I'm proud to say I had in the past. And I'm telling you right now, I've already talked about them. I absolutely love both Arch Manning and DJ Lagway. They are 2 superstars of the future. And I just reaffirm what I thought already. And we'll get a chance to see these guys finally and get a chance to hear from them. And boy, I am really pleased and excited about that. And so is this guy. Let's go find the hardworking Rob Browne, who's always in his car going over a bridge to or from Memphis. But finally, I think he's back. Hello, Rob. How you doing?
Hey, I left Atlanta this afternoon and bolted over to Birmingham. So right now I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that could be a good country song. Bolted over Birmingham.
Yeah, and let's get. And I got over to Birmingham. I'm in Mountain Brook at my favorite Hampton Inn on 280. Miss Vivian Glover always has a room for me. I mean, I love it. I'm here. Just went to the back 40. Got a seared catfish sandwich and a cold road soda, and I'm ready to talk some football. But I mean, media days. This last 4 days was really fun. But you got to let it kind of be processed by your brain because everybody's undefeated right now. But I did draw a lot from it.
Yeah, I can tell you, and you absorbed. You're like me. You're kind of like a sponge. You love to go there and soak it up. And then when you get back, you see what's in your sponge. And you think, there's a reason that this guy stuck out with me. There's something about him that really I locked in on. And I just talked about the column I've written. In fact, it's posted now. It's about 2 new future superstars of the SEC. And I mean superstars. And by that, I mean as good as they come. And we know who they are. DJ Lagway is one, and he's proven to be that.
Yeah.
And he also is on some other people's lists on the way to early Heisman voting. He's on my list for that and Coach Spurrier's list for that. And then, of course, Arch Manning. Who knows? This guy might be the wonder kind of all time. He might be the ultimate quarterback. He might be everything in the bag of chips, if you know what I mean. Because I don't see any flies on him right now. And I loved how he came across in the SEC media days. And I think he's going to be a stud on the field. So he's, like we said before, you said it and I've said it. If you went to a laboratory and you want to create a quarterback with all the ingredients, including the heritage, the knowledge and the skill set and all that, it's Arch Manning.
Yeah. Well, David Cutcliffe was there every day, and he has worked with Arch since he was a little kid. He would go up to Durham with Cooper, his dad, who signed with David Cutcliffe at Ole Miss. And again, Arch made a promise to his grandfather he wouldn't touch that NIL money until he was officially QB1 in Austin. Look, we've seen a little bit of him in different games, but But I live by an adage out, and it makes sense. If a dog will bite, he'll do it when he's a pup. When they put him in, he's ready for the task. DJ Lagway, same thing. And a lot of questions. I was right next to DJ, getting a lot of, just 5-6 feet from him, asked about, you grew up near A&M. Why didn't you go there? He just said when he went to Florida, he fell in love with the atmosphere. But those two guys are mature beyond their years. And if you are getting caught up in all the negativity and the narratives, go out and meet these kids. Go to the games, get to talk to them. We're going to be fine. I mean, but I think you're right, buddy. I know you're right about Arch and DJ Lagway. They're great for college football.
Yeah, they're going to be blockbusters, and I think they'll be among the most popular athletes on television, period. And they've got all the ingredients. Comment here from Perry Mason. Arch Manning is certainly an impressive young man. His parents did a good job, but so did DJ's parents. He's a great young man as well. You're right on that, Perry. Perry, you're exactly right. Yes. And there's also a comment from it looks like Kehenrio Jimenez. I can't figure it out. He says, checking in from Austin, Texas. Good to hear from you, Kehenrio. I hope I'm saying that right. And he says also, Gators will go 10-2, make the playoffs. Can't wait till the season kicks off. I can go along with that, Rob. I can go along with that.
And also about DJ talked about his upbringing, his parents, and this guy is he's what 19, and yeah. It was cool talking about how Billy Napier talked about how they went out to Texas, and they felt early on they went and found him early in the recruiting process. So and I'll tell you, I like John Mateer.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of run. We're going to get to some of those guys because there's a bunch of them. Mateer is one of them that you're ringing a lot of chimes. Now, they look good. He's a great-looking transfer. I know my buddy Shane is very high on him. And a lot of people think there's something going on in Oklahoma. And there's 4 or 5 middle teams we can talk about. And Rob, I'll ask you as well. We're expecting to hear from Ben Troupe in a minute. In that group of people, Florida no longer is a long shot. Florida now is one of the people that get a lot of run. And Oklahoma, is getting some run. I mean, we know Georgia, Texas, all those teams are good, Alabama. But these other teams like Ole Miss and Florida and Oklahoma, what's going to happen to them? What's all the scuttlebutt in media days?
I think Oklahoma's defensive line is going to be a lot better. And Jim Nagy was there, and I really like him. We've had him on the show a bunch. I met him 4 years ago, executive director of the Reese's Pieces Mobile Senior Bowl. About 2.5, 3 months ago, he gets a call from Oklahoma. And I think he's making $1.5 million to be the GM, but he's got a really good staff out there. And they're going to be trying to play a little bit of money ball about a 3. And Jim knows how to identify talent. He's been to 6 in his 18 years in the NFL with, Pete Carroll, Mike McCarthy, and that Belichick guy. I do think Oklahoma also, Mateer has his offensive coordinator from Washington State, Ben Arbuckle. They've been together 3 years. And I asked John about that, Mateer, how the comfort level. He said it's good. But again, for them, they still have not seen in person and felt the speed off the edge in the SEC. And so that'll be
different. It's a different game. It's a
completely different game.
Really
Yeah. It's
one of the things I always like to watch are these young athletes who come up, especially quarterbacks, come out of high school as All-American, Gatorade Player of the Year, whatever. They get back there, they drop back, and they see an opening, start to run. And, man, they don't get 2 steps if somebody nails it.
Yeah.
They're so much faster in the SEC and so much, quicker, whatever. Tim Blackburn, hello, Tim, how you doing? Wants to know, what's the strength of this year's team? Well, I'm going to talk about a couple of them right now. We all know about the quarterback. We all know about whatever. We can identify several. But I want to say the 2, at least, and we'll bring Ben Troupe in here, three things that Billy Napier loves to be asked about are first of all, his linebackers are really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows it, and he laughs when people don't understand how good they are. And then his receiver room is I predict right now, the biggest shock for people who see Florida play will be these incredible receivers. And I mean incredible. There is something special. I got a kick out of him the other night. We'll bring Ben on when he said that people don't realize yet that Trey Wilson is coming back too. They talk about Wilson. They forget there are two Wilsons.
Eugene.
They are stacked. Yeah, Trey.
Yeah.
Trey is they are so fast and so strong and so good in that receiver room. And I bet you even Ben Troupe's got one or two he'd like to put in there, but there's a couple of places right there. And I could go on from here, including I could also say that their defense is going to be good and better. And if they are, we talk about this, Rob, all the time. All you have to do is make 3 or 4 stops a game. It changes everything, Ben Troupe.
It does. It does. What's up, buddy? What's up? We got Buddy. We got Rob. I saw Rob at the College Football Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like doing drops. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
It was fun.
Yeah, he was there. He was doing it all. Well, listen, we're talking about, got a question about what is Tim Blacker wants to know what I consider to be some of the strengths of this year's team, and where is the question mark? And I think let's don't even start with the injury thing, because you say, well, DJ, if you didn't get every quarterback runs a risk of getting hurt, not just him. And if you watch the interview, and Rob, you were there and you listened, if you weren't convinced after hearing him talk about this, forthright, and by the way, addressing it head on. He's not ducking it, trying. He's telling you right up front, hey, I'm making throws now that I thought I couldn't make. New throws. And he says he's not even trying to think about if he can throw the ball properly or if he's throw the ball well. He knows he can throw the ball well. And then if you want to go into other, we hadn't even discussed tight ends. Ben, that's someplace you could address, because this team loves to use a tight end, and that's one. And so defensively, their front seven is very good. I think the question marks might be in the secondary. We're not exactly sure yet, although there's people back there like Cormoney McClain at corner, who was just a world-class athlete that you're going to hear about a lot. His body, they say, is totally reshaped. And then you start talking about it, Ben, you can get pretty excited in a hurry about these Gators.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose of SEC Media Days is to show off your best players, and you tell them, look, man, I'm not here to muzzle you. I want you to be yourself. What stood out the most was, I heard what Jake Slaughter said about Tyreek Sapp, man. That's how I get ready for a game. I get the headbutt from Tyreek Sapp. I heard DJ Lagway say, listen, man, just spot the ball. Just spot it. Y'all don't think we that good? And let me tell you something. As a person never ever got a chance to go to SEC Media Days as a player, I envy every last player that go there, because you hold the hopes and dreams of an entire university, regardless of the school, to be 19 years old with that much pressure on you. The SEC is better when you got good quarterback play, and you got good Nussmeier, Norris, up there in South Carolina. You talk about the man, kid, but DJ Lagway, he's amongst that. And I think the thing about it is this: the most confident team has the best quarterbacks. Just look at them. High school, college, pro. I'm confident when I know how my quarterback nice. I'm not talking trash out loud, but underneath, every household in Gainesville, every household surrounding area is saying, man, if DJ can stay healthy. Well, think about it. If your quarterback is healthy, you got the best center in the country. It don't matter how people feel. It's documented. You got one of the best returning D-line in all of college football. You got the law offices of Wilson and Wilson. Y'all were talking about them before. Trey in Dallas, right?
I like that. Yeah.
I just think that, and look, this is coming from outside of Florida. No one want to talk about how good our backfield is. It's one of the best in.
Oh, that's what I can get to. That running back room is going to be killer. Do you realize who they got coming back? Those studs, they can line up and just run the ball. They don't have to worry about it. I mean, think of the games last year. Jacoby Jackson, Jaden Baugh, those guys were just eating it alive, and they're not even at their peak yet. And their offensive line, they got 4 starters back. I mean, I can sit here and say there's 2 or 3 areas I'm through. I can't wait to see these receivers play and watch these running backs run. And now and you know this, they run the ball to pass the ball. Everything has to be play action. When they can run the football, they can pass the football. And now they got Lagway and all. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, Ben. I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. Rob, you were there at Media Day, and you saw a lot of this, and you heard a lot of this. And Florida's no longer a sleeper, no longer a secret. Everybody knows about Florida, Rob.
Yeah, man, they're not ever going to be a sleeper. That's why their fan base at Florida goes ballistic when they're not winning, because they have everything that you need to win. So it's never going to be okay to not win. Jake Slaughter, it starts with him at the center. And I got to talk to him a lot on camera, off camera. He's just been, buddy, y'all know these kinds of players. He owns the locker room, and he probably would, put you in a headlock if you weren't given, a full effort in a game. But it's the 4 starters and also the running backs having an offensive line like that to run behind. Because if you can run the ball, you can eat up clock and you'll wear that other team's defense down. And then you have some explosive plays. Florida's receivers are tall, 6'3" and above. And Ben, I'm going to ask you this. Each year, almost every school makes their case for how they're going to bring the tight end in. Let's go back, tap into that brain of yours. 4 years at Florida, 2 years for Spurrier, 2 years for Ron Zook. Ronnie Sanders, by the way, you may have known my friend Ronnie. We worked with him on AU Undercover. He was there with Zook for the 3 years. He was a GA, so you may not have known him, but I want you to talk about the tight end position and how it can be such a weapon when you've got an athletic tight end like you.
The tight end position is one of those positions now to where it used to be, glorified offensive tackle, right? You get to go out there and make some plays in the passing game. When you have a dominant tight end, a dominant tight end is an extension of the passing game, but it makes everybody's job easier, because now who you gonna double? Because we talked about the receiving core. I know we got Hayden Hansen coming back and Tony Livingston and Amir Jackson, those guys. Every time Florida has been good on offense, you had a good tight end. You don't got to be great. Now the Kyle Pitts of the world, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talk about guys like that, and Aaron Hernandez was just unreal good. I just think that when you talk about the tight end position now in Florida, you just got to be complimentary. When I got you, and you have to fight for balls during the week. I earned my stripes every practice going. And Larry Fedora, who ended up being the head coach of UNC and Southern Miss, he would always come to me at the end of practice and say, "Ben, you going 2 minutes today?" I go, "Yeah." You know who I had to go up against at linebacker? Channing Crowder. And for those of you who don't know, Channing Crowder is known as a mugging type linebacker. If you can't run routes, he's just gonna mug you. And so, as I'm going into practice every day, knowing, wait a minute, man, this is how I show my teammates I'm not a one-trick pony. So tight end now. You can't hide anymore. It's not because you ain't fast enough to be a receiver. You ate a couple of more carbs growing up. In high school. I think these tight ends now, you don't want to just make it 11 versus 11. You want to make it unfair. A tight end can make it unfair, and we're not gonna see another tight end like Kyle Pitts. That's unfair to put anything on somebody like that. But the best tight ends come in pairs. You need 2 of them. You need 2 guys. If you don't believe me, Gronk was at his best in the NFL when he had Aaron Hernandez next to him, because we don't got to do the same thing. So I think when I'm seeing Tony Livingston and Hayden Hansen, Amir Jackson get to work in, I think those guys can understand now, what if going into the game, we're talking about the receivers coming out of the game, we're talking about the tight ends. It's not going to be every week. It's going to be this week. It could be us. So it's something that Coach D used to tell me when I played. He'll say, "Ben, if you don't play well, you shouldn't expect us to play well. And just do 2 things for me. If you're not going to be the reason we win, do not be the reason we lose." That's how I play football. I might not be the reason we win. I guarantee you I'm not going to be the reason we lose, because them games are so precious. So I hope the tight ends guys, I hope those guys understand now. They're watching you guys to go out there and make plays. You know why? Because you're going to get one-on-one. You're not going to be getting double. You're going to get one safety, one linebacker. And I'm sorry, that's not Ed Reed over there. That ain't Troy Polamalu over there. That ain't Sean Taylor over there. And nothing with these safeties. If you can't get open on one guy consistently, that's going to hurt our offense because sometimes they're going to have a scheme for our receivers. Sometimes they're going to just out-scheme us. Tight end getting one-on-one. You can't out-scheme a one-on-one. One-on-one, you should beat any defense. But I'm happy for those guys for this reason. You want to go to Florida because you want to play in big games, but you want to go to Florida because you want to win them. Can you win? And I hope it comes down to the tight ends making a play. Like I said, Tate Casey will always be known as a jump pass tight end. You know, he's the receiver of the jump pass.
Made him be caught that pass.
He did, but at the same time, he still started every game. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys. I'm happy for the entire offense because, like I said, Dallas. I know we got Trey Wilson, and I'm so happy that Trey Wilson coming back. Dallas Wilson that's a different kind of specimen as far as like at receiver, and we got legacy players now. The guy who nobody's talking about enough, who I think could be a big factor on offense if they find a way to get the ball, is the grandson, the son, and the nephew, one Khalil Jackson. They can find a way to give him the ball. It's in the gene pool. But hey man, I'm just happy that we healthy. Yeah. I'm happy that DJ Lagway is up there talking a little trash. He's holding court. You know, he's a very, very articulate, smart young man. But underneath it all, I think DJ Lagway, and I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about mentality. He like Jalen Hurts. He gonna say all the right stuff. He don't like none of them. He want to beat every last one of them. And I'm just happy he went. I'm just happy he went. Orange and blue.
Yeah, I just want to bring Franz in, say good evening, and also answer the question. Somebody asked about being on Fine Bomb. Billy was the only coach. Yeah, I noticed that, but that wasn't anything personal. It's really time factor. Sometimes they got him tied up when Paul is on the air. And so I don't think it was a situation not wanting him. I don't think the schedule broke right for them. So let me tell you folks about our good friends at Meldon Law. I know Jeffrey's there with the time of his life. He's on a 7-week vacation. He and Patricia are going all over the planet, all over Asia and Europe and these countries, and he's going to have some stories to tell when he gets back. Meanwhile, the office is open. If you need any help for your lawsuit, you want to get it reviewed or help, as many of us do, Meldon Law is a place you need to go. They got 4 locations to serve you, of course, right there in Gainesville, in Ocala, and also Williston and Lake City. And they do a great job as Gator fans. They support the program. They're the only official law firm of the University of Florida, and nobody bleeds more orange and blue than Jeffrey Meldon and Meldon Law. Check them out. They won't back down. Francis, good evening to you.
Good evening, guys. How's everybody out there in La La Land or wherever it is that you are these days and times? I know Ben's probably been to the Crystal Beer Parlor and had one of their burgers with all the onions on it. And Rob's a connoisseur of everything in Atlanta. He is this tour guide for Atlanta restaurants, and Buddy gets all those fresh shrimp there in Panama City. So I'm just an old cowhand from the Rio Grande, just sitting here.
Yeah. Chicken pot pie for me tonight, pal. That's what I got to say. Okay. That's what I'm eating at home here. But by the way, I wanted to say something earlier. Someone asked a question. Go ahead. I'll get to the questions later. Francis, I know you got things to talk about. I don't want to get your impressions of media days. We were talking about what Florida's got that maybe people don't know so much about. I was addressing the fact that Billy just loves to be able to grin and talk about his wide receiver room, his running backs, his linebackers. He has got some players. And this really shapes up. And I'm going to say right now, it couldn't be better for Florida now because they're not being picked to win the SEC. They're picking to be competing for it. And nobody thinks they can do it, but they're afraid to leave them out of the conversation. So they're in every conversation. They're going to be a top at least 11 or 10, 11 team. And they can get themselves to the playoffs if they can get out of Texas alive. I mean, the scorched earth games I talk about. That is once they got out of Miami and have to go down to LSU, and then they got to go play home and play Texas and out to Texas A&M. And if they get out of there, and I think we all agree, so they can split the Texas games and come out of there with 5 wins in the second half of the season, they're on their way, guys, don't you think?
I believe that Florida is. I think Florida is going to be that team that everybody's got the typical the usual suspects in penciled in as the top 4 teams. I think Florida is going to be there knocking on the door. I think Oklahoma is going to be there knocking on the door. And I know Rob disagrees with me, but I think Auburn, if they can get Jackson Arnold to remember that the forward pass is allowed. You can throw that ball down the field if you don't have to throw a 2-inch pass. And if they can convince him to throw down the field, they got the receivers. They're going to be, the defense is good. It's the offense that everybody's worried about with Auburn. And I think those 3 teams are going to surprise people. I don't know that the usual suspects in the conference, other than Texas, and I think Texas is just too good, but I think Georgia's got flaws this year. I think LSU has flaws this year. I think Alabama has flaws this year. So there's room for some teams on the outside to move in. And I think Florida's one of them. I think Florida may be the number 1 team capable of moving in and shoving somebody out, but I think those other 2 can do it as well.
Yeah, we're going to have in a minute here. I know Rob's going to have to go soon, but we need to get our man Loren Meadows in here. I want to talk to you guys about this new mantra they got, and you heard it brought up a number of times, and what you think of it, called "Spot the Ball." Here's what I like about it. What we're saying basically is, we ain't afraid of nobody. You line up, we'll line up, spot the ball, let's play. Don't care how tough the schedule is. And they've all got this as their mantra now. They say, spot the ball. Billy used to call it putting the ball down. Now he's changed it. Spot the ball. I wrote today in my column on Gator Bait that reminds me of my friend, a Texan, I used to play golf with all the time. We go to a new course, and he'd say very cockily, "Where's the first tee and what's the course record?" And that's kind of what they're saying. I think they say, spot the ball. Come on, bring it. Let's play. What do you think, Ben? Is that what you get out of that?
Yeah. I mean, when I played at Florida, they used to call our practice field the proving grounds. As soon as you run in, you see the word proving grounds. Spot the ball mean, I ain't worried. Spot the ball mean, we got to play anyway, right? And guess what? If we not that good, why y'all talking so much? If we ain't that good, where all the noise coming from? I'm looking at these final standings. I always like to check the final standings. When you talk about these teams, I mean, we get that Texas is Texas, right? We get it. They was 13-3. Georgia was 11-3. Tennessee was 10-3. Alabama was 9-4. LSU was 9-4. Ole Miss was 10-3. Why didn't LSU and Ole Miss go to Atlanta? Why didn't they go to the college football playoff? Every team that Florida lost to either went to the college football playoff. That would be Tennessee, Georgia, Texas. Texas A&M had a shot to play for the SEC championship. Miami can't be Syracuse. So all I'm saying is, when they say spot the ball, that's simple and plain. That's the Herm Edwards. Man, it's not who you play, it's how you play when you play. Just spot the ball. And that's all football is. It's simple, man, just spot the ball. We don't got to go back and forth. It's like the reason why, buddy, Franz, Rob, the reason why a bunch of grown men don't get to arguing no matter how old you are, because at a certain point, your fist going to ball up. It's just a natural. I mean, I'm tired of talking to you. I'm tired of talking to you. Doesn't mean we're going to fight. I'm letting you know I ain't got but one swing in me now. But I'm going to connect. And that's the fight. That spot the ball is, I'm tired of talking, man. I'm tired of listening to the noise, and I'm tired of defending myself. The SEC Media Days is the last time we're going to talk, because we got to. We are contractually obligated. Billy Napier, you talk about Banks, you talk about DJ, talk about Slaughter. When DJ finally said, man, just spot the ball there. Because every year you got a mantra. You got unfinished business. They don't respect us. Just spot the ball. Because once again, hardest schedule in the country, 2024, right? 8-5. Yeah. No one wants to talk about it. Hardest schedule 2024, 8-5. We'll see what happens. But
no matter, spot the ball.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, Rob, I know you got to go. We got to bring on our friend here in just a minute, Loren. Give us your thoughts about the spot, the ball. Is it kind of cocky? Is it right? Is it good? You like it, dislike it, what?
It's focused. I mean, all these distractions that NIL and the portal bring. And that was a question that I asked every player that I talked with, and I asked several coaches at media days, was there seems to be this narrative out there that you can't be tough on these kids. You can't coach them hard. They'll hit the portal. Well, I was a TV reporter at Fort Benning for a couple of years. If I heard it once, I heard it a million times from every Ranger instructor. Here's where you find out who the quitters are. And I'm not going to say on the airwaves what they said about people like that, but they said, we'd rather identify them now than in combat. And so I think every one of the kids, every single one of them, of the 15 teams that I asked, every one of them said, yes, sir. He goes, I want to be coached hard. I said, so you embrace it? They said, that's right. They said, that means they care about us. And I said, there you go. It's like what my kids tell me, Dad, if you weren't so hard on us, I wouldn't think you loved us. So I think Jake Slaughter is y'all's.
Gallivo, he was great today.
Great. And I was really impressed with that kid. Brendan's talked a lot about him, but damn, man, he's got so much pride as a fifth-year senior. And one more thing before I go. Another theme I saw, and I said this to several kids. I said, seems to be a common theme. The fourth and fifth-year players that have stuck it out seem to be here in big numbers at media days. I think we're on the other side of the worst part of all this storm. So I feel great.
I'm not sure if you asked the question or not here. I'm going to bring Loren in here. Talking today to Mark Stoops, about his toughness and how he coaches people hard.
Yeah.
And I think you said you're from Youngstown,
Ohio.
And he's later on said, yeah, we swing on people, That was his point there. So,
well, he was, by the way, Eli Drinkwitz and Mark Stoops took time to come over to see my daughter's roommate who went to Alabama. She's still a good person. And Alex is an Alabama fan. He's 10. And Fitz is the biggest Florida fan you've ever met in your life. And both of those coaches came over, put their arms around the kids, gave them a hug, took pictures with them, signed autographs. I mean, there's so many great stories out here, people. I mean, let's get this football season here. I'm gonna make a pledge. No NIL, no portal talk, except when absolutely necessary. Okay. I'm ready, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, Rob, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks very much for all your good work there. And SEC Media Days. And speaking of good work, here's a guy that I don't know if he's been home in about 2 months. Who knows where he's from a hotel room somewhere on I-75. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm back at the crib now for a minute.
Back? You made it back? Did you get in the map to get home?
What's that? Nah, it was rough though, man. It's been a long month, but glad to be back.
Welcome back, Loren. Good job while you're out there. And we're just having a conversation here about one of the things I love is the surprise element Florida's got to the rooms. Like, people have no idea the linebackers that they have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have even grasped yet the wide receivers. Those guys are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you take the running back room. I mean, look at the running backs they got, man.
Yeah.
You realize what they got there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how it will translate, but they are loaded, friends. And
the SEC network crew, I don't know if you heard them, but when they brought Billy Napier on, they both said, when it comes to skill people, you're loaded, and there probably isn't a team in the SEC with better skill people. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't disagree with that. I came home as soon as I heard that. I mean, I came back to the office, picked this thing up, and I started thumbing through it and going through all this stuff. There isn't a team out there with 2 running backs like Florida's got. Number one. Now, we could talk all about Ryan Williams there at Alabama being all interplanetary, and he may be. I mean, he's NFL ready right now.
A lot of drops though. A lot of drops with Ryan Williams.
But I got to tell you what, Dallas Wilson J. Michael Sturdivant.
Don't even know about Dallas Wilson. I'm telling you, that guy is amazing. He
So
is
is-
my guy for the big stud that's going to break out in the breakout year is Dallas Wilson. And I'd like to see an over number on two things from him. One, I'd like to see the catches for the year you think you'd get. I'd like to see the yards after catch. Loren, that guy is stud.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I mean, we've talked about it. We talked about it in the spring, and when these guys got on campus, I've been told since the basketball team was making a run at the Final Four that the young guys will play. And you talk about Dallas Wilson, you talk about Vernell Brown III, Nashawn Montgomery. I mean, just the young guys that have come in, you know, along with Hawkins and Abrams, the speed there. I mean, the wide receiver room, I mean, iron sharpens iron. I mean, they're going to be tough. I mean, I would say for Dallas Wilson over under, I would give it maybe just because of the way they're going to run the ball, 30 catches. But I mean, his rack is going to be, I would say, anywhere between, if you're getting anywhere between 4 to 5 after the catch and moving the chains. I mean, he's a big, strong kid. And when you walk up on him, he looks like an SEC receiver. I mean, he's just put together. The gun show is out. And it's just.
I think sometimes I'm looking at Franz when I see him.
you know, here's the thing that everybody has talked so much about him, and he's a tremendous freshman, but there's that word, freshman.
I don't care about that.
Buddy, you know, has been
DJ Lagway was a freshman last year too.
Well,
yeah,
and here's
but
the
not every freshman reacts to
he's not every
99,000 people in the
this
stands.
Kid ain't every freshman.
Yeah, here's the thing I'll say about receivers, and Ben, you could back me up or not. I think now, because of the increase in 7-on-7 and the ability that those guys get out on a consistent basis and they're running routes, and I mean they're constantly running, you know, just in the mix. I think that you get a lot more freshmen that are ready to go. And what I would say about a guy like a Dallas Wilson, a Vernell Brown III, if a guy like Ryan Williams could come in and make the splash that he could make, and even Big J up at Ohio State, not to that magnitude, but even if you get 50% of that with the way that the Gators are going to be able to run the football, hopefully play good defense. You still got J. Mike on the outside. Everybody's forgetting about Trey Wilson III. I think
I ain't forgetting
really
about
healthy. I mean, so like I said,
and I think nobody's thinking about Hayden Hansen,
right? And Hayden,
a different position.
That's right. But I agree in the throwing game, and Livingston as well. I mean, they've got. So my point is, it won't be on Wilson. He's playing with house money. Is I guess what I'm saying is because they are so deep at so many positions, he just gets to go out and make plays.
Did y'all hear what Billy said yesterday? And they don't even realize Trey Wilson's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wilson's going to see a lot of singles too because of J. Michael and Hayden Hansen and Trey Wilson. So he's going to get a lot of single coverage. So then he just got to win routes. So, I mean, he's got a lot going for him because of what the Gators have, as well as, two, like Franz said, three dogs, four really in the backfield coming downhill at you. And those safeties, they got to get involved or it's going to be tough.
Here's the thing I was pointing out though, buddy. Not every freshman reacts to 90,000 people in the stands the same way. And, these guys are going to be playing for the biggest crowds they've ever played in, with the loudest noise. Stuff happens when you get there that first year. That's why there's that old saying, the best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores. And you look at the number of guys that we look at and we say, well, gee, that guy was a bust as a freshman. And all of a sudden he's really outstanding as a sophomore. And the difference is he's been around. He's been in those crowds. And all of a sudden he knows that he's not going to hear the signals. And he knows he's going to have to be focused on hand signals and things like that. They never had to do in high school. So not every freshman's the same. But here's the thing. You don't have too often as many freshmen as are going to handle it the same way. But like I said, Dallas Wilson obviously is the guy that everybody expects. But Vernell Browne, my gosh,
yeah.
VB3 is an absolute stud. After I tell you what, I bet you more people look silly in the first 6 weeks of the season than any freshman we've ever had, because what he does after the ball. You know, he reminds me of, buddy. They used to call Ron Sellers jingle joints because it looked like he's going this. His bones are going this
Sellers
way.
was about 6'5", though, I think. Yeah, I remember from Paxton. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet the over on Wilson. Just not only just talent wise, but the way he carries himself. I think he's ready to roll. What do you think,
Ben? There's a reason that Florida doesn't drop passes like FSU or Georgia. Those guys drop everything, right? It's coaching.
Yeah.
Learning how to catch the ball and get it in your hands. You learned that certainly under Coach Spurrier, didn't you?
Yeah, listen, you know why these receivers are good? When Florida was good, I'm talking about when they come in threes, right? They had Van Jefferson, they had Josh Hammond, they had Freddie Swain. Who was coaching them? Oh, Coach Billy G. That's who was coaching them, right? And you start looking at it now, right? Coach Billy G would tell them, Florida is good enough to have 1,000-yard receivers, but that you're doing that to force the football. No. What makes you good is when the guy behind you is just as good. Because I ain't got time to be playing. When I first get to Florida, look, I get it. We had Jabbo, Riche, Taylor. That go Carlos Perez, that go Kelvin Kite. And I'm not saying the guys that replaced them were better than them, but the guys were good enough to do it when they was here. So when you ask, why do Dallas Wilson play the way he plays? That go Trey right there. That go Aiden Mizell right there. That go VB3 right there. That go Khalil Jackson. When I don't want a wide receiver room, you got an alpha dog and everybody else is all right. I want a bunch of alphas in that room to where I said, dude, pick your poison. And that's why when you look at our gunners, why do our gunners be our starting receivers? Because you're gonna be more than just a receiver. Run down there and cover some punts. Be a football player. That way you showing your teammates, man, I want to do more than just catch the rock. Coach Billy Gonzalez do not get enough credit for the mindset he instills in these players to say, hey, I've been doing this, fellas. And Coach D was my coach, but Coach D was the one that used to coach Ike and Riedel and Jaquez. Now, we used to butt heads a little bit because he ain't never coached a tight end, but I respected the fact that Coach Ron Zook gave me him, but I like it when it's competition all throughout the room. I mean, Dallas Wilson walk in the room, it's like, man, who is that? Yeah. Oh, that's Dallas, right? Yeah. But then Trey said, I'm the original Wilson now. You a part of the law office. Yeah. I call them the law office of Wilson and Wilson. All they do, listen, man, they win all their cases though. If you want to win, put the Wilson boys in. But I just like the fact that you loaded at running back. Not good. Yeah. You loaded. You loaded at receiver. I want the tight ends to be a part.
You're right. They're loaded in several rooms. They are loaded in several rooms. They really are.
The thing that one reason I brought up Hayden Hanson's name is there are only so many people you can double up. And the tight end ain't going to be doubled. And you're talking about 6'7" and a half, 280 pounds, and he can run. And if I'm a 5'11", 190-pound safety, and I see that dude coming at me, I'm telling you, I'm hoping I'm wearing dark pants that day, because if I'm wearing white ones, there's going to be a streak down the back of them.
And I've never seen a converted tight end that used to be a quarterback that wasn't good. Travis Kelce, Jay Riemersma. I mean, the list goes.
Don't see many of those.
Yeah, Hayden Hanson. Any tight end that used to be a quarterback can get after it. They know how to get open. They can read defenses. You can give them a lot of information, and Hayden Hansen fits that mold.
Yeah.
I'm going to bet you this, guys. I'm going to bet you Florida does not have a single receiver with 40 catches. But I'm going to bet you they've got maybe 6 or 7 of them
with 30
with between 25 and 35 catches.
Yeah, let me get to a premise here I want to get to before we get too far. I'm going to got a few minutes, and as I'm writing my story today and the last couple of days, and even the last couple of months, it just gives me chills to think about October 3rd. The Texas Longhorns coming to the Swamp. Oh, my goodness. We get to see Arch up close. And by the way, I love that kid. After even hearing him on the SEC, he loved me more. DJ Lagway's done nothing. His stock has gone up. This is going to be a classic game. And I think Florida has a chance to win this game. Let's talk about the premise. Someone says, what's your storyline here about this? And I'll start with you, Franz. What's your storyline about Texas coming to the Swamp?
This is a whole different animal than what Texas has seen on the road in the SEC so far. They haven't done LSU. They haven't done Florida. And I promise you that, it's either going to be a 3:30 or a night game. And my guess is they'll make that the night game so that the whole country can see it, because it'll be Arch Manning and DJ Lagway, maybe the top 2 quarterbacks in the country. And the hype is going to be there. The crowd's going to be there. And I promise you, the Florida players talked about it. Caleb Banks talking about it this week at SEC Media Days. He said, when the Swamp's rocking, he said, we're a different animal. And I think that I can't imagine that the Swamp is going to be, funeral type quiet on October 3rd. I think it's going to be an absolute zoo there.
Loren, is it? Go ahead, Loren.
I think Texas might even be a little bit shocked.
I've got Texas to being the best team to win it all, but this is a game I don't think they can beat Florida at home. I don't know. Loren, am I crazy?
No, they can definitely beat Texas at home in the Swamp. And I would even venture to think that game could have been a little different had Lagway, played and maybe been healthy, particularly coming off what probably would have been a Georgia win for the first time in 4 years. So, Texas has a lot to replace. They're talented on the outside, but they got some holes to fill as well. And at that time, that part of the season, come celebrate with your boy before the game for his birthday. That'll be the day after my big 5-2. So stop by the Gator Bait tent and holler at it.
You'll be buying drinks that day, won't you?
Yes, sir. But I think you talk about a man-sized showdown. That's what I would have the headline, a man-sized showdown between, like Franz said, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the country. And at that time, maybe 2 of the top 5 teams in the country. So, it is the two of the best high school football states, 2 of the best, most fertile recruiting. Everything fits. And then the cherry on top is Lagway versus Arch Manning.
Yeah.
DJ, basically was the week before he would head home to play in his hometown. So, it's just a lot to go with this game. It's a match made in football heaven.
The atmosphere in Austin and the atmosphere in Gainesville, two different stories.
Nope.
Austin, they're loud. Yeah. Florida, they're insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me get to Ben because we only got about 3 minutes. I want Ben to put a cherry on top of this. Ben, you can't get fired up for this and get us fired up. I quit.
History is definitely repeating itself. I think it's college football fans. I remember another Manning that played for UT. He had a lot of hype, and he was worth all of it, right? He couldn't do it, but it's something on his resume that he don't want to talk about. What happened when you played Florida? Oh, man, he leaned back in his chair. And all I'm saying is this. When a Manning is in the building, whether it's Eli, Archie, Peyton, or now Arch, it is going to be a different monster. But I just think for me, when I think about this game as a whole, I'm gonna keep saying it. It's so easy to go out there and beat what the world say you're gonna be. Hey man, they're gonna be all right. Texas ain't ready to lose when all the hype is on the line. Arch Manning has played in 4 games. And my goodness, I mean, power firebomb, getting starstruck by him. We did walking by, shaking his hand. Cool. He a man. As Arch Manning ain't done nothing but be a Manning and, with all the hype. But I agree with what Loren said, what Franz said, even what you say, buddy. When Florida is good, it is hard to beat them. I don't care who at quarterback. But when you got that guy, listen, people get mad at me because they say, hey, Ben, I'm in this book called The Best in the SEC. They put me in this book, Greatest in the SEC. I said, I got a problem with this book. Why? Because how y'all going to have Peyton Manning as the greatest SEC quarterback? Man, he wasn't better than Shane. He wasn't better than Danny. He wasn't better than nothing. He's like, yeah. No, he wasn't. They were like, Ben, I said, how you going to be the best? You never beat Florida. Anyway, I just think that when you think about DJ Lagway, this is why he's here. Because DJ Lagway go, y'all think he better than me, right? Yeah. Spot the ball. And let's see. Because I'm just telling y'all at the end of listen, these Georgia fans gonna get so sick of me saying spot. That is the greatest mantra. Man, listen, spot the ball. Or like a boxer. Hey, listen, man, put on the gloves. Let's see.
Go see.
Let's see. That's all. Let's see.
You bring yours, I'll bring mine. Let's go spot the ball. We'll find out, right?
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're gonna have 30 seconds each. Biggest surprise, best thing you saw, SEC media days. Loren.
A different Billy Napier, a confident, I think just a proud, confident Billy Napier and somebody that's ready to go, that's embracing what's in front of him. And like I said, he's growing on me. So I think that it wasn't a lot of innuendo. He stepped right to the plate and talked about the football team that he has. And, he's been one to say, put the ball down and let's go.
Yeah. So fair enough. 30 seconds, Ben.
Man, what stood out to me the most in SEC media days is the way that Florida players held court. I think sometimes when you go to SEC media days, you so buttoned up, it's what can I not say? I know what I can say. What can I not say? That's a 19-year-old holding court. That's the best center in the country holding court. That's one of the best interior D linemen holding court. And they were a true representation of the whole team. And I'm just going. I know that Billy Napier said spot the ball, but when DJ Lagway said it, I go, Because listen, he real cool, calm, collector, right? Mm-hmm. But he is sick of this. He like, I am so sick of y'all. That's his way of that's his way of saying F you respectfully. That's what he's saying, and I respect it. I respect it.
All right, Franz, spot the ball. 30 seconds.
What I was impressed most with was Billy Napier saying, I've done it my way. He pointed out the fact that we've got guys that have been here he says, I was there in their living room with their mamas and daddies. I've got the relationships with them. A lot of people have complained that Florida's 19-19, and I pointed out today, Florida could just as easily right now be 29-9. Mm-hmm. 9, but there's a reason they lost those games before, because they didn't have the players. They got the players now, and Billy has done it his way, and that impressed me, was that he was willing to point that out to the media. I did it my way.
All right, good job, guys. That'll do it. Have a great night. Good job, folks. Appreciate it. Franz and Ben and Loren. We'll catch you next week. Have a great weekend, all right?
All right.
I tell you folks about our friends over at Titan MRI and Imaging. You hear us talk about them every night. They're a special organization. They now have Joe Colorio there with them. Joe started out Highfield, and now in 1997, now he's back. Titan MRI and Imaging has 3 locations to serve you, 2 in Gainesville with a Park Avenue location, and now the Millennium Center, and 1 in Lake City, serving all of Columbia County and Valdosta, Georgia. Titan MRI and Imaging offers the same great customer service. They accept insurance, or you can go through their convenient self-pay options if you want to. They offer MRIs, CAT scans, X-rays, ultrasounds, easy scheduling with lots of options, including evenings, large MRI machines for patient comfort, No ERs, no hospitals. Coming to Ocala soon. Titan MRI and imaging. Thanks to our friends tonight, our guests. Appreciate it. We're back here next week. Have a great weekend, folks. I'm Buddy Martin. Enjoy.